Greetings, I'm Demonac, and it's arena time. Alright, it's time for a new run. I've had enough, mediocre runs. I want to have a really kick-ass run. Unfortunately, I've played these two classes recently, so I'm going to have to go with Rogue. Which can be, I've played a ton of Rogue in Ranked. I'm a little iffy on them in the arena. You can get really good stuff. I don't know. For some reason, I don't feel it's quite as good. But we'll see what happens. Demolisher, Sludge Belcher, or Mana Wraith. I really like the Demolisher. I think it's very strong. But I think I'm actually going to take the Sludge Belcher. Because he gives you a lot of stuff. He's sort of fat-ish. Yeah, I'm going to take the Sludge Belcher. Why not? He's new also. That's always fun. Brewmaster, very good, especially for Rogue. But I think I'm going to take the Assassinate. Because I don't want to not end up with Assassinates. Okay, well. I could have lots of Assassinates, but I don't want to not end up with Chillwind Yetis. Panther, Geomancer, Shadow Step is pretty damn strong, but it's not good with everything. It's kind of a mediocre card if I'm just using it to heal my Yeti. I mean, that's still fine, but thinking, I don't know how much spell damage stuff I'm going to get, but maybe I'd like the Geomancer. We'll see how it goes. Raid Leader, I don't like you. Oracle, I don't like you either. Conceal, I also don't really like you. This is a crappy row that I don't like. Should probably take the Conceal because I might be able to do something awesome with it, but I'm going to take the Raid Leader because I don't want to not have enough minions. Sinister Strike, I'm not too fond of that card. It makes sense in some decks, works well, but I don't have any combo stuff yet, so I'm not even using it just to trigger combos as a backup plan. I'm going to take the Scarlet Crusader because she fights. She fights pretty well. This is a better row. Why couldn't one or two of these cards been slipped in the shitty Raid Leader row? We're taking one of them. So Shiv gets me a free card. It does 1 damage, which is puny, but it replaces itself and it can finish something off. It can blow up a bubble. Gnomish Inventor is some meat and draw a card. In the arena, that's pretty damn good. He can fight with some stuff. The Crusader is also good for fighting. I think I might take the Gnomish Inventor. It's a decent compromise between he's a little expensive for drawing a card, and he's obviously expensive for a 2/4 does nothing minion, but combination, he's a decent compromise for the arena. Wolf Rider's Charge, which is good. The Raider is probably a 3/3 for 2, which is pretty good, although I have to have a weapon out. Sergeant is also very good at letting a little thing kill something, and he's a first turn play. These guys are all really solid, and all way better than Raid Leader. So, Bloodsail Raider. He's also a Croc. We like those. I don't have any Death Rattle stuff yet for the Undertaker. Well, I do. I have the Sludge Belcher, but I don't think this is going to be a very Death Rattle heavy deck. On the other hand, you're not the greatest. You're very, very far from the greatest. These guys still do some powerful beatdown later in the game. This is a good first turn play. He'll draw some aggression from my opponent, but unless I get a whole ton of Death Rattle stuff, I think I'm better off with Lord of the Arena. Here's some more fatness. I could take another Sludge Belcher. It's not that exciting. Master Disguise is pretty solid. I mean, you get a 4/4 for 4, and you can often save one of your minions. Do some damage and then save it from getting targeted by anything until it attacks again. But I think we gotta take the Argent Commander, because he's an Argent Commander. It's pretty good. This row. You're fat, horrible drawback. I know this is sort of good in the arena because you can kill a lot of 2/2s with this guy, right? He can do multiple attacks. He ends up doing a bunch of damage for his lifespan. He's still, not that exciting. Shadow Step is probably not that great with my stuff. I mean, I could Shadow Step the Scarlet Crusader after using her bubble, replay her for 1 with a new bubble. Kind of like replaying something else and healing it. I could reuse the Gnomish Inventor for 2 mana. Reuse the Argent Commander. That's actually super good, but how much is that going to benefit me? I don't know. I think we're going to go with the Mercenary, even though he screws me sometimes. This is it keeps putting, like, I get like a crap row, and then I get a row of everything is amazing. If you're going second, this is a powerhouse. Even if you're not, he's pretty damn strong. If you can trigger his combo early in the game, you get 2 guys for 1. It's even later in the game. If you play something else first, you're getting 4/3 worth of stats for 2 mana. Very good. The Smith is pretty tough, and I'm the class that has a built-in weapon. So that's turning my crappy 1-attack thing into a 3-attack thing as long as he's alive and a little bit damaged. And the Ambusher is awesome. 5/5 for 4. The Death Rattle, potentially harmful, but it's also potentially helpful. It's random, you don't control it, but I think I've got to take the Ambusher, even though the Smith is probably smart, but just this gives me some serious rush potential. Now we're starting to see more Death Rattle stuff. I could have had a decent set of things for the Undertaker, but even with one Undertaker, is that combo really worth messing up all my other choices? Eh. Fan of Knives, which would be good if I had the Geomancer out, otherwise it's not that exciting. Haunted Creeper is 3/4 worth of stats for 2 mana. It is packaged in like the worst imaginable way. That's how they justify it, because 1/2 kind of sucks, and then it dies, you get 2 1/1s, they'll die to anything, but it ends up being quite annoying for your opponent. I guess it combos with the Raid Leader, even though it's like that's a ghetto combo. That's just like, he's a Raid Leader, whatever. That or Fan of Knives. I don't have that much stuff that kills minions. I do have a lot of minions. You know what? I think maybe I should actually take the Fan of Knives. Another Fan of Knives. I could take the Sprint. Having one of these in the arena is pretty good. I mean, this is a dead card in your hand most of the time, and it takes your whole turn to do it. That's a turn where you're doing nothing in all likelihood, unless you already had the advantage, but in terms of your minions. You're doing nothing, but if you can weather the storm, if you're not going to die in the short term, over the long term, if you cast this, you're going to kick ass. On the other hand, Fan of Knives replaces itself in hand right away, costs a lot less, and does help me AoE things. Man, I think I'm going to take one Sprint, because sometime it could win me a game. You are junk. Another Assassinate. My deck's getting a little expensive, but another Assassinate, that's a strong card to have. On the other hand, Wolf Rider can kill something. He's much cheaper. Yeah, we're going to take that. Can kill something or damage my opponent. You're okay. You're lame. Eviscerate is pretty awesome. We'll take that. Silence. Having some silence would be really nice, because there are going to be things that come up. They're going to screw me. Even only one silence, I'm not going to be able to do too much, but he could easily swing a game. And you get an okay-sized minion out of it. Bloodsail Raider is still very good. The Frostwolf Warlord is pretty damn good. He's like generally at least a 5/5 for 5 mana, which is very good. I think we're going to take the Bloodsail Raider. I don't have that much early game stuff. That Spellbreaker would probably be smarter overall, but I have like the Assassinate and some big cards. We definitely want the Deadly Poison, because I've got 2 Bloodsail Raiders now. If they come in as a 5/3 for 2, they're awesome. Speaking of, I know some early game stuff would be nice, but we're taking the Smith because he goes well with the Raiders too. I don't have all that many cheap cards to go all Adventure Time on them. The Oracle, not a big fan of that. If your deck is fine-tuned to take advantage of that, maybe you can do something, but really, I don't think so. Young Priestess is pretty good. I think I'm going to go with her. He takes more work to get him going. She's 1 mana. She's a 2/1 for 1, which is fine, and she will buff my stuff. I've got more weapon things in here now, so Blade Fury would actually be pretty good. At this, plus the 2 Fan of Knives, I actually have I only took 1 Fan of Knives. I definitely want this then, so I have more AoE. Even though another Sludge Belcher would be strong, and Demolisher would be pretty good for helping you. Well, we'll take the Blade Fury. Not taking another Sprint. It's just so expensive. I think we need the Backstab. Cheap killing things would be nice. Light Warden, not for me. Mana Addict, I've got some spells. We're going to take the Auctioneer because he'll probably draw me 1 or 2 cards. I do have some spells. I guess we'll take the Acolyte of Pain because he's going to replace himself, hopefully. And now we're going to take another Eviscerate because they're awesome. Although I'm starting to have more spells and stuff. Shiv would almost be tempting. I don't have much spell damage. Eviscerate kills things. In fact, we're going to take the Betrayal too because kills things. Those other guys weren't that exciting. Another Backstab would be nice. At that point, my deck would be getting pretty fast. But I've changed the balance heavily from minions back to spells here. Hold on, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spells in here. I may have miscounted. I've got already about a third of my deck is spells. I think even though the Backstab would be sweet, I think I should take the Ogre Magi because he's another minion, he's decent sized, and look at that, he will boost my Eviscerates and my Backstab and stuff. Fan of Knives. Does not help the Blade Fury. It's one of those spells that's based on something else, and it doesn't help the Betrayal. But I have so many spells now, it's actually almost tempting to take the Dalaran Mage. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's still only 4 spells that benefit from spell damage, though. Whereas the Dread Corsair, he should usually be at least a Grizzly Bears, right? 3/3 taunt for 3, and he might be cheaper than that sometimes if I get a good circumstance. I think I'm going to go with him. Spell damage is pretty good. No, I don't think I'm going to have crazy spell damage combos, but then again, he increases my chances of being able to do a Fan of Knives for 2. I only have 1 Fan of Knives. No. We'll just take the Corsair. No, it's the Weenie Brigade. Now, Elven Archer is better than I give her credit for. She can finish something off, stuff like that. But Worgen Infiltrator survives long enough to attack. Leper Gnome is a leper. It's kind of a tough choice. They're all pretty equally useful. Nothing bad. This is just free damage on your opponent. If I had like 2 Undertakers or more, then this would start getting very appealing, but I don't have any Undertakers. The Infiltrator, is he that exciting? He does survive long enough to attack, generally. You know what? I'm going to take the stupid Archer I don't like, because I have a fair amount of killing stuff in here, and I want to keep that going. And now, get another Blade Fury, which could be pretty good, but I think I'm going to take the Head Crack, because this is the arena, and if I can get that kind of card advantage, just keep that going. Now, card advantage is a weird description of that, because it doesn't affect the battlefield. But if I can get that going, if I can just get a 3-mana Hunter ability, in addition to all my rogueness, that would be a good thing in general. I think this deck is sort of balanced out on casting cost. It's maybe a little bit more on the expensive side. Hopefully I can... Whoa, this is not the starting hand we want. We're going to keep the Backstab and throw those back, hoping for minions. I can do a 3-point Backstab. Squelch. Head Crack is not what I want to see this early in the game. That is going to be useful in 1,000 years if I live that long. And, by virtue of not being another card, I'm less likely to live that long. So, thank you. Oh, thank you for showing up on the wrong turn. Not that you're that helpful anyway against a mage, but... I'll stab you. I could have put out the Geomancer, probably be smarter, but having a weapon out is beneficial. There are things I can draw that care about my weapon. Although, attacking with it makes it worse for the poison. But she doesn't know that I could play a Geomancer and do 3 damage. And she doesn't care because she has a Fairy Dragon instead, which I can't just, kill that way. So, that sucks. I guess we're going to play these 2 guys. I mean, she's going to turn him into a 2/3. Which all it's going to do is force the trade, but
many options.
It'll take her mana for the turn to kill this, so I guess it's not the worst. Just kind of reset the board that way. It's very annoying that this had to be the Fairy Dragon. It couldn't be something else that I could blow up with my 3-point Backstab. Which would have been awesome. even if she has a Frostbolt or something, if she Frostbolts him, then she's not shooting this. So yeah, she's going to take most of her turn's mana to get rid of that. It's not the worst. It is too bad she can just trade there. Or she's maybe not going to. She's going to go for beatdown. Interesting. So I could play that as a 3/3 for 2, and then I could renew my dagger. Or I could blow up one of these guys with the backstab. I don't know if that's that useful. I mean, I could do this and then head crack. I think probably want to draw a card with him. That seems fine. Not getting through those guys in too short a term anyway. Gonna hit that. So next turn I could theoretically make a dagger, hit that, make a 3/3, and backstab something. The fact that I still have the backstab is useful, even though I'm taking a beating from this fairy dragon. If she played a 4/4 and didn't kill this guy, that would be hilarious. That's not ideal. You're just big on untargetable stuff today. Yep. Okay, so ow. Well, that's fun. That not only does that kill the shade before it can grow, which is hilariously awesome, but it actually gets rid of the taunt and the fairy dragon and just makes my world a much happier place. So I guess we're gonna do this. Ta-da! Jeez, I could just like burning her down at this point. It's like take 5 and take more. I don't know. I think our plan is going to be make a dagger. Should I just play her without the dagger? Probably. I mean, there's some worry of AoE, but I can just kill stuff out of the way. I think I'm going to go like stabbing as normal. I'm used to just, I always make the dagger and attack right away in case it gets blown up. And also because it's wasting time if I don't. But at some point I'm going to draw the poison and I'm going to wish that I had saved both uses on my dagger. Because I'm not going to poison a used dagger unless I'm really desperate. Okay, so there's some junk. I'm going to blow up your shit so hard. I'm thinking Ogre Magi, backstab for 4, eviscerate for 6. I'm thinking that's the way to go. Even I'm not going to get Flame Strike this turn. So let's do that. I guess we'll attack that dragon. Why not?
Here we go.
You need to, like, freeze all my guys or something. Killing my guys, or at least freezing them, is going to be an important component to surviving.
Handle it!
Okay. There goes 1 spell damage. That was a weak-ass turn. I probably can't kill her this turn, but that was a weak-ass turn, which I approve of. So I can hit for 6. If I play any spell, that's another 11. Do I have enough mana to do... So I head crack... Oh, the head crack's getting +1 damage as well. Plus, if I head crack first, because I don't care if I get it back because I'm killing this turn.
Hey, give me a minute.
It was a very explosive hand. She did not get the right stuff to deal with what I had. So that was a very successful game. We're going to see how it works out going forward. Obviously this deck can have really good hands, but I don't know how reliable it's going to be. It does have a fair amount of fat stuff that didn't show up that game. The Ambusher, Yeti, he's not really fat, but he can be cheap sometimes. Ogre Magi, Auctioneer, Sludge Belcher, Spiteful Smith. It's it got a reasonable amount of fatness, and it's now got a reasonable amount of cheapness too. It balanced it out in the last half of the deck. So we'll see how it does next time.
Please click the like button, though there may be a small chance of lycanthropy. Just make sure the only animals around are good ones. You don't want to become like a were-toad or were-gerbil or something.
And don't forget to subscribe to Demonac Games for more Hearthstone Arena and other gaming videos.